Hi, everybody. My name is Ona, and I work for Aspen Adult Services. I want to introduce you to two of my friends, Shauna and Michelle, who work for MonTECH in Missoula. MonTECH is a library of assistive technology items ranging from things that will help people live more independently to working more independently, and just help families in general. In this video, Michelle and Shauna are going to demonstrate and show us some of the items that they have available at MonTECH, and they're going to talk about their program. Basically, any family in Montana can borrow an item from them for up to a month, maybe even longer, depending on the need for that item. If it sounds too good to be true, keep watching. It's going to blow your mind, all of the things that they have available there. If you stay tuned at the end, Michelle is going to take us on a whirlwind tour of their facility and show us a lot of different items. If you stay tuned for the very end, there's a slide that has contact information with their names and their phone number for MonTECH. As always, please give us a thumbs up if we're doing good. If you have any suggestions, leave a comment. We'd love to hear them. Thank you for watching.
Okay, I am Shauna Hansen with MonTECH, and I am the outreach coordinator here.
And I'm Michelle Allen, and I am the AT specialist, the assistive technology specialist here at MonTECH.
So let's talk about what MonTECH is.
So MonTECH is Montana's state assistive technology program. And what that means is we are a library and we buy assistive technologies and all kinds of equipment to help Montanans of any age, any ability, live as independently as possible. So we don't sell anything. We just house it here like a library. You check things out from us. You try it out in your own home, in your own community for at least a month at a time. We provide free shipping to you, free return shipping, except for our big stuff that's too heavy to ship. And then we also provide one-to-one help to help you learn how to use what you have borrowed. So we have equipment in all different categories. So activities of daily living, learning disabilities. We have pens that read text for people if they struggle to read for themselves. Communication devices from very low tech, I press a button and the button speaks a message for me, to very high tech that's accessed with your voice or with your eyes. We also have equipment for mobility, hearing, vision, memory support, caregiver support,
Walkers, wheelchairs, knee scooters.
Right.
We have a lot of stuff.
Some of the more interesting might be we have a feeding robot that will feed a person at the touch of a button. We have telepresence robots that you can drive around in a space that you are not physically able to be in yourself. To be eligible to use MonTECH, you just have to live in Montana. Doesn't matter how much or how little money you make, you qualify. And we don't need a doctor's referral. We don't need a prescription. You just call us or email us or access us through our website, which is mt-at.org. And often you will be referred to Michelle, and she'll talk to you about your challenges and either set up an appointment with you, or you can just borrow stuff straight from our website.
So you guys are located, your office is here on the University of Montana campus in Missoula. Do you all go out in the field, or do people have to come here?
We have an office in Missoula and in Billings on the MSUB campus. We generally don't go out into the community except for paid trainings. But for our free help, the free loans, the free one-on-one assistance, that is done either in Missoula or Billings or via video call or phone call.
You mentioned that people can borrow these products, that you loan them out for free. If somebody decides that they want to buy one of these products, what happens then? What if they can't afford it?
Well, if you do find something, try something through MonTECH that really makes a difference in your life, and you want to buy it, MonTECH does not sell anything. We can tell you where we purchased it and how much we paid for it. If you're having trouble finding the money to make a purchase, and some of these items are very inexpensive and some are very expensive. So if you are having trouble funding it yourself, we can research some resources to help you, connect you with a foundation or two that might be able to help you If that's not an option, and if you don't have funds through Medicaid waiver, then we do have a financial loan program called MATL, Montana Assistive Technology Loan Program. And that is a very forgiving loan application process. So we loan up to $1,500 at 0% interest, which is awesome, or up to $50,000 at 3.5% interest. And the committee is very understanding of your financial situation, and they set up very low repayment plans. They understand you might have a lower income, and if you're approved, the process is actually very fast. And people have used MATL to pay for hearing aids, ramps, accessible vehicles. As you know, it's really hard to get funding, get a loan through a traditional bank for an accessible vehicle. What other things have people?
We had someone buy a whole bunch of little things because they all added up to a large amount. Or if you needed an accessible doorway, you could request a loan.
Adaptive rec. Maybe you want a nice mountain trike to get out in the hills and on the trails. Yeah. So MATL is always an excellent option.
That's another thing too that had surprised me about MonTECH to begin with, was the outdoor things that you all promote. I think like the adaptive trike, or I remember you mentioning at one point that can you talk a little bit about the fishing gear and things like that?
Right. So there is a program like MonTECH in every state in the country, but MonTECH is one of the few that really focuses on adaptive recreation and getting people outdoors. So we have adaptive trikes that can be borrowed at 5 different locations around Montana: Helena, Dillon, Fort Peck, Missoula, and Billings, and also picked up, of course, and taken to any community where you are. We have a lot of fishing equipment. If you have less stamina, less strength in your arm, only the use of one arm, we have all kinds of equipment for one-handed fishing, hunting equipment. For example, a device that makes it require less pressure to pull a trigger, gun mounts for wheelchairs, sip and puff switches, camera mounts. We do have 2 hard bottom rafts with wheelchair tie downs that can be borrowed and used here in the Missoula area. And our rafts are the only loan item that we actually charge for, because a Parks and Rec employee goes along with your party and makes sure they're there to load and unload the raft and keep everybody safe. And believe me, you want them along. Yes. Because those rafts are, it's like lifting a truck. So they take care of the heavy lifting, and you enjoy a raft trip with your family.
So tell me about the things that you've got on the table.
So we have some different switch toys. So if I put my hand over this, it makes this bus go crazy. I can hit this switch and it makes it go forward. Put my hand over this one and it makes him turn. So these switch toys would be great for little kids that can't play with the toy with their hands, but switches are also great for a lot of other things. This is another switch. You can hit this button and it makes this light up and move, vibrate. So switches can be used for many different things. You can use switches to control your iPad. We recently partnered with Able Gamers, and they provide switches for gaming, and they will give you a switch free of charge so that you can play accessible games. And we have a lot of those here that you can try before you buy a switch to see if that would work for you. But our equipment really ranges in birth to old age, because we're really trying to meet the needs of everyone. And so we will find the switch that works for you, whether it's a head switch, a cloth switch, practicing pointing with your finger. So we'll find the equipment that works for you. Over here we have, what is she called?
This is Pearl.
Pearl, yes. And she is a companion pet, and you pet her and she purrs and she will roll over because she wants her belly rubbed. And so it's a great way for somebody that maybe has dementia to still have a pet with them that they can care for. And it really helps with that social isolation piece. And we have branched out a little bit more into dementia-friendly equipment.
And she would be good company for someone with intellectual or developmental disability too, if they live in a place where they're not allowed to have pets. She's just a little more interactive and fun than your basic stuffed animal.
Yeah, you can see Shauna loves her.
I love her. So I came to MonTech about 6 years ago, and I am the mother of a 24-year-old autistic man who is non-speaking. And that was my introduction to assistive technology. Since he's non-speaking, we first encountered MonTech by borrowing communication equipment. So that's real value of MonTech, is you try different devices and you just see what works for you. And it doesn't matter what anybody else says, you're actually trying it for yourself. And that is what we did. And we found a communication device and an app that has served as his voice for the last 10 years. And so I have seen firsthand the power that assistive technology has to make a profound difference, not only in my son's life, but in our family's life and everybody who interacts with him. This gel pad is another example, something really helpful for my son that we tried through MonTech. And turns out it's not quite durable enough for his power. So I didn't waste my money buying the gel pad because we tried it. It didn't really work. But then we did get online, explore other gel pads, and now he has a gel pad to help him calm. We use visual timers, also discovered through MonTech. And so he uses a visual timer to transition from activity to activity throughout his day. And it's just a game changer. And without these devices, his life would be so much smaller. And that's why I'm here. I just love seeing examples of AT changing lives every single day. All different ages. 95-year-olds, 2-year-olds. It's very exciting.
Hi, I'm Michelle from MonTech, and I'm just going to show you around our space. So this area is kind of kid area, but we have a little bit of everything. We have switches, we have toys. Over here we have a bunch of toys. All of these drawers are filled with different switches. They come in all different sizes and colors depending on what you need. Over here we have our learning area. So this would be for education, maybe music, focus, writing, math, all those kind of things. We have shelves for math and writing and reading and mounts, all kind of stuff here. Behind me I have some more toys over here on this shelf. A lot of these are for cause and effect for little kids, and some of them are for communication. And over here I have some more communication tools. We talked about switches. These are all different switches that we have, all kinds. This shelf here is behavior tools. So anytime we have someone with dysregulation, sensitivity to sound, anything like that, we have stuff for that, and we're always increasing those tools. This area, a lot of our equipment is checked out currently because we're just so popular, but this is where we do some of our memory aids and dementia aids. Over here we have a lot of our hearing equipment for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. And then we have our smart home equipment, which would be like automatic locks and turning on and off your TV with your voice and things like that. Over here we have our gaming system. It's kind of a mess, but gaming areas are usually a mess. And we have different switches. You can control your computer with just your mouth. You can control it with your hands. So many different ways for gaming. And Able Gamers is a charity that we work with, and they can provide gaming equipment. So this is just some more of our gaming equipment. And then the whole rest of this wall is vision. We have digital magnifiers. We have handheld magnifiers. We have fun things like playing cards and bingo cards that are larger. We have talking calculators and talking watches. If there is a need, we will find equipment for that. We'll help you find that. These are large desktop magnifiers, so you can put papers on it and see things much larger. And those are a popular item. Here we have our computer accessories. So we have all different kinds of keyboards, from low vision keyboards, and you can get this with the black background or the white background or yellow. And a learning keyboard, so kids can start to learn where their fingers go. So to learn to type, we have a bunch of different things like that. And then we have odds and end keyboards. This one rolls up, so if you needed a portable keyboard, we have it. So we have a lot of like odds and ends of keyboards, and all of these drawers are keyboards. Over here we have our mice, and so these are just some mice that would help with positioning of your hand. So it's a more natural position to hold your hand upright in this position than to hold it down. And so a lot of people just that work at desks like to try different mice, and we have 10 drawers full of mice. This is a new keyboard that we got. This one and this one are pretty unique. This one you put both your hands on, and then you're double clicking to find those letters. So if you can't use your fingers, that's a great keyboard. And then this is the same thing. You're hitting these buttons to make letters on your keyboard. So a lot of alternative keyboards. So I'll show you our kitchen area. We have a ton of stuff for eating independently and helping people gain back some of that independence in eating, because when you start to lose skills of independently eating, life gets a little bit harder. So we want to make that easier. This whole drawer here is different types of utensils. In this drawer, these are weighted utensils, so they're much heavier, but we also have them that aren't weighted with big grips. Thinking about different types of cutting tools, just using a pizza cutter to cut something if you can't use a knife. So lots of different utensils. This is a unique cutting board. This is a one-handed cutting board, so you put your carrot in there and then you can just slice with your knife on there. Has a lot of different features. Using a rim for your bowl to scoop can sometimes really help people, especially that need one hand. This is a weighted mug, so if you have tremors, this is really great. This is usually what we have people guess on. This cleans cups and plates. So you would slide your cup down on here, it suctions into the sink, and then you can clean your dishes one-handed. So this is pretty handy guy. Over here we have our June oven. This guy's pretty awesome. It is a smart oven. So we've actually had several people take this home and try it and purchase it for themselves because they loved it so much. It connects to an app on your phone, has a camera inside, and so it knows what food you put in there, and then it will cook it to the right temperature. And it has 12 different functions, so it can be an air fryer, all the ones, I can't think of them, but all of them. So it can do a lot of different things. And people that use wheelchairs really like this because this can be more at their level, and the oven really isn't safe at that point. So in these drawers here, we have a lot of aids to daily living. So different gardening tools, things to get in and out of a vehicle, crafting, if you can no longer craft, we have some crafting tools, and some examples are over here. So this would be if you needed help cross-stitching, it's one-handed, so you can cross-stitch with one hand. We have some talking scales. This one raises up, so you could also see it at your level if you have also hearing. And then some different remotes for the TV, ways to slip on shoes. Bidets are really great. This is not something we loan because that's disgusting, but bidets can be a great way to be able to use the bathroom independently. So we like to show people that it's an option. This is a one-handed nail cutter. It's pretty popular. You just put your finger in there and push down, so you wouldn't have to, do that fine motor skill. And then we have a lot of sock aids. So if getting a sock on and off is hard, you slide your sock in here and then you can get your sock on independently. So over here we have gait trainers. These are things that you would need a therapist approval to check out. So it's something that would aid in walking. So it's kind of like a walker, but these are more custom for people that would need a PT note to get this. And this is our gait trainer area. We have a lot of different sizes for all ages. Now we're in our storage room, so this is going to be a mess. This is where we store all our large equipment that we can't keep out in our nice tidy lab. Here, this whole shelf is, I would say from here down, is all our adaptive rec equipment, swimming, fishing. This is a walker for the pool, so if somebody needed a walker that could go in water, they could check that out. This down here is a foldable kayak and some different sports stuff for kids. This whole area is camping and fishing, so we have a wheelchair accessible tent. We have cots that are higher up and larger for people that can't get up and down off the ground. And then over here, this giant mess is a lot of hunting equipment. So we have some bite triggers where you bite and it will shoot your gun. So a lot of crazy things. This is not pretty to look at, but we have some toileting frames, we have some bed frames, we have some couch canes to help you get up and down off the couch. That stuff is checked out a lot. So if you want something and it says it's waitlisted, put your name on the wait list, because then we'll get it back and make sure that you get it. Here we have mounts. Mounting to things is really important. If you use a wheelchair, you want to make sure you have your phone or your iPad mounted in an area where you can see it and use it correctly. If you have mobility issues, you might want a mount that can wheel from your recliner to your bed. So making sure that you have accessibility to that equipment. So we're still in the storage room. This is where we keep, this is typically full of wheelchairs. We have so many wheelchairs out right now. We typically have from this end to this end filled with wheelchairs, and they just come and go really frequently. Our wheelchairs are a 6-month loan, so they do stay out longer. We have some cool things. This is a transfer aid. You would have somebody stand on this and then you could push them over in front of the toilet if they have a hard time twisting their legs. So this is a very popular item. This is an off-road wheelchair, so somebody could sit in this and then it floats in the water, it can go over sand, all kinds of things. You could go over snow with it. This was recently checked out for a camping trip for somebody that wanted to go on a family reunion, and they were able to push them all around the campground.
What is this item called specifically?
This is called the Emma.
The Emma, okay, thank you.
Over here we have, well, what should be walkers. Again, typically this is crammed full of walkers. A lot of them are checked out. We just got walkers recently donated. We're just putting them into inventory, so this will be filled up again soon. This middle area is standers and chairs for people that maybe can't sit up on their own. And we have all sizes, from itty bitty all the way up to adult. And so these are all of we have different seating for safely positioning, and then seating for behavior, seating that moves, so for those wiggly kids. We have knee scooters that are extremely popular. Typically, I'd say we have no knee scooters in. This is the most we've ever had in, so that's great. And then this wall over here is all of our baby equipment for positioning and seating.